Hi there, welcome to BUBU channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to cut and sew this beautiful kaftan BUBU with fringe. So let's get straight to it. I'll start by folding my fabric into 4 equal pieces using the sleeve length as a guide. Okay, then I'll go on to mark my shoulder measurements divided by 2 like so, and after that I would go on to mark my middle back, the measurement from my middle back to my sleeve length. Okay, mine gives 18. I'll add about ½ inch as folding or hemming allowance right there. After doing this, I'll come down on that spot by about 2 inches, and that'll be what I'll be using as my shoulder slant to about 3 inches. All right, so I'm going to slant that 2 inches down to the 3 inches marks there. Now from my shoulder slant, I'll come down by my round sleeve divided by 2. I added 1 inch sewing allowance. The next thing I'll be doing is to mark my dress length, and then I'll add the hemming allowance like you're seeing me do. Then I'll make that line visible by just using my ruler to make a straight line right there. Now from that line coming back upwards, I'll mark my hip measurements divided by 4. I would add another 3 inches allowance for ease. Remember, it's a kaftan, so you can use 3 inches, you can use 3.5, you can use 4 inches. So I'm just going to mark that same measurement all the way upwards to my round sleeve divided by 2 that I marked just before that. Okay, so just watch. So I'm connecting this line like so. Now on that spot, I'm just going to come down by about 2 inches. Okay, I'm coming down by about 2 inches, and then I'll make a curve with my free hand to give it that shape. Okay, now on that round sleeve spot, I'm going to come in by another 1 inch just to avoid this gaping sometimes you see on the underarm area, and slant it like so. I'll go on to mark my necklines using 3.5 inches wideness and a depth of 2 inches for the back piece. Okay, so 3.5 by 2 inches. I'm using my free hand here. Please feel free to make use of your curve rule if you would prefer that. Okay, that's for the back piece. Now for the front piece, I'll be maintaining the wideness of 3.5 inches and the depth of either 7 inches or 8 inches. I used 8 inches here, so if the person is a bit smaller, you can use 7 inches and connect your lines with your rule like so. Now that is all for the neckline. Before I cut out, I'll be marking out my pocket point because I want to apply pockets here by coming down from that round sleeve point by 3 inches or 4 inches, and then from that 4 inches marked there, I'll come down by another 7 inches. Okay, now note that these are my pocket points. Adding your pocket is totally optional. If you do not want your pocket, please skip this part. The next thing is to cut out. All right, I'll go on to cut out the shape, the side shape, and after doing that, I'll notch my pocket point so that when I'm sewing, I know when I'll be applying my pockets. Next thing is to cut out the back neckline and then the shoulder slant. All right, after cutting out this shoulder slant, I'll open up my pieces and remove the back pattern before I cut out the front neckline. Please do not forget to do that. Do not cut all of them at the same time. I've gone on to cut out my front neckline, and this is what it looks like already. So I'll go on now to cut my facing because I do not want to tape my necklines with my bias. So to cut your facing, get another fabric of about 6 to 10 inches long and about 9 inches wide, and cut out the neck shape. Okay, the same way. Now determine the kind of curve you want for your facing. You can use a curve or a very straight or squared shaped facing. All right, so this is the back piece pattern. You can see it is just the same measurements with the neckline there, but a different length. All right, so I decided to make mine a curved shaped facing. Okay, feel free to make use of any shape of your choice. Okay, so after doing this, this is what the back facing looks like. You see, it has the same neckline measurement, but the length, like I said earlier, is different. Okay, so I'll repeat this same process for the front piece. Okay, I went on to use a longer length for this front. Remember, I'm using a V neckline, so I made it about 10 to 14 inches long. I placed my facing fabric on fold as well, just like the front piece, and then I cut out the exact neckline shape. Okay, it's important to get the exact neckline, and then you can determine the wideness of your facing. Okay, now this is for those that are not making use of the bias. Of course, you can make use of your bias tape to pipe your neckline. Okay, so I decided to just make this a straight, a squared shaped facing. Okay, so when it's time to sew, you just place your facing front sides facing front sides, because you want your facing after being sewn to go inside. Okay, now after doing this, I want to just mark and cut out my pocket. All right, so I'll be cutting 2 pockets together by folding my fabric into 4, using a wideness of about 9 inches or 8 inches and a length of 10 inches. So I went up by 1 inch there and came in by half an inch and made a curve for this purpose. Then I went on to just cut these pockets out like so. After cutting out, this is what our 2 pockets look like. All right, so for our facing, the first thing you'll be doing after applying your stay, all right, is to or turn the sides of your facing, and then place it front sides like you see me do, facing front sides, and sew it by about half an inch. Do the same thing for the back piece by placing the facing right side facing the right side of the main fabric and sewing only the neckline, okay, the curve or the V shapes there, and then you will notch and turn it over. I have gone on to apply my stay to my facings, both facings, and you can see I have hemmed the sides by just folding it twice. Okay, fold it by half inch once and then fold it all around that side. Okay, now I've also done this for the front piece of my facing. You can see I've applied, you can use paper stay, okay, and then turn it over. The next thing to do is to get your fabric. I'll start with the front piece. I'll go on to place my facing right sides, please, facing right sides. You can go on to pin this down, okay, ensure that the necklines align, and then go to your sewing machine and sew about half inch, following the same shape, your V shape, just like you see me marking. I'll do the same thing for the back piece, placing my facing right sides facing right sides, and then I'll go on to sew just half an inch all around the neckline. After doing this, this is what it looks like. Okay, I've gone on to sew this half inch round. Okay, the next thing is to notch round your neckline so that it is easy to turn it over. That is the essence of notching. It gives it a smooth feel when you turn it over, especially when you have curves. So just carefully, not touching the seam lines. Okay, just turn it over after notching and give it a good press. So this is me turning my facing to the back carefully. So I do this most times instead of using my bias tape to tape the neckline, but note that you can also use your bias tape to tape your neckline. It also comes out beautiful, so it all depends on you. After turning it inwards, this is what this looks like. So I'll go on to place the front and the back piece right side facing right side, because it is time to join the shoulder. You can decide to join your shoulder straight down like so, but me, I prefer to turn the shoulder by covering the front pieces using the back facing. Okay, just watch if you don't understand what I'm saying. I just use the back facing to cover up the front piece and facing. Okay, and I made the sewing straight down. After joining both shoulder, this is what it looks like. You can then go on to turn it over. All right, when you turn it over, remember to give it a very good press. So after joining your shoulder, the next thing would be to, okay, I just opened this up so that you can see what the back or inner piece looks like. All right, this is before ironing out my seam. Now after joining this shoulder, go on to hem the round sleeve. Okay, so remember we added just half an inch as the hemming allowance or the folding allowance. So you're going to firstly open up your shoulder seam and then iron it out, then go on to folding that half an inch you added. If it was 1 inch, fold in your 1 inch and then fold it in like you see me do, and then sew it all the way down. I'm going on to do this for both parts, and after sewing it, this is what it looks like. Okay, after sewing this down and pressing it, it is time to add your fringe. All right, please watch closely. I'll be placing my fringe on the wrong side when I am sewing on the round sleeve part. Please note, now when I'm moving downwards and I leave that, or I come out of that round sleeve, I will take my fringe to the right side of the fabric. Okay, so when joining your fringe to your fabric, ensure that you place it on the right side. Yes, when sewing, when you're sewing it on the round sleeve, you can then take your fringe on the wrong side or to the wrong side. Please watch if you do not understand what I just said. I'm going to sew this fringe all the way down. Okay, after sewing it, this is what it looks like. Remember, I made sure that I sewed the fringe on the wrong side when I was sewing it on this round sleeve area, as you can see, and then I switch it to the right side. After sewing your fringe all the way down, it's time to join your front part with the back piece. All right, so just arrange it, ensuring that the fringe comes inwards. Yes, ensure that your fringe is inside, facing the right side of your fabric, and then ensure that the round sleeve part aligns. Okay, so you're just going to sew this right from your round sleeve where it ended, just about 1/4 or half an inch. Okay, ensure that your fringe remains inside, that is facing the right side. Just tuck it right in carefully, and then make your sewing from the round sleeve all the way down, because you must leave an opening for your sleeve to come out. Okay, so just sew it all the way down. Do not forget to leave out the space, yes, you left for your pockets. Okay, so go on to sew this down and leave out your pocket space. After doing this, I made the sewing on both left and the right side. I'm just going to turn this over so that you can see what it looks like. Okay, so it is already looking very neat. So you can see that the fringe comes out from both the sleeve and then the side seam, only because you tucked it in. So it's important you tuck your fringe inwards, facing the right side, when you're about to join the side seam. Now the next thing you'll be doing is to place or apply your fringe to the lower part, but you go on first to fold the lower part of your dress, okay, or hem it, doing the same thing you did for the round sleeve. Just half an inch, you fold it twice all the way around. Okay, now after sewing this around, you will go on to place your pocket as well. I'll do this and show you what it looks like. So now, after joining my pocket and hemming the lower part of this dress or folding it inwards, this is what it looks like. I've gone on to fix my pocket, and I've also sewn or folded the lower part of this bubu. Okay, so after doing this, I'll go on to fix my fringe to the lower part, which is the last and final stage before your bubu is ready. Fix it on the wrong side. Okay, so inside you're going to arrange your fringe this way. You can use your pin if you like and sew it all the way around. You can also double it if you choose. This will give the fringe a little bit of fullness at that area, just depending on you. Okay, so after joining this fringe, we are good to go, and this is what your kaftan with fringe should look like. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.